Hi, I'm Rob Spurling. I'm Chief Scrutineer for the Australian International Pedal Prix organisation. We're here at Scrutineering in Victoria Park, and Scrutineering is really about checking the cars to see whether they comply with all the specifications, vehicle specifications, almost all of which are safety related, and we also check the safety aspects of the vehicle that the team manager might have missed or might have happened or been damaged through use. This checklist has got around 129 checks all up, but for these events we're only going to check the red ones. On the team's version of the Scrutineering checklist, every point is listed and the rules that they're applied from or derived from. But some of these things, like for instance the maximum length or the width or the height, these things are checked when the vehicle's built. We don't need to check them at every race, but we will be checking them everything completely at Murray Bridge. Forward mounted struts need to have a broad mounting point, such as this transverse tube, this blue transverse tube that you can see there. And the point of that is that if the canopy gets damaged, we are not left with a metal spear that sticks forward. This is one of the new Tomahawks, and you can see it's got a nice curved tube around here that the forward mounting strut goes directly to, and so that will never become a problem as a projectile or a spear if it, unless for instance it breaks. One of the important things about a car that's got a lid is that you have enough of overlap to make sure that in a rollover the lid stays intact and provides the protection to the rider that it's designed to do. And this car is a really good example of having lots of overlap there. And you can see that also here and on this one also, it's included, the roll bar is included in the structure. One of the things that can really ruin your day is if you catch your finger on the cable end that hasn't been capped. So what we do is we use a cable cap. When you've slid the cap over the end of the cable, then you just clamp it like that. This old pair of side cutters is nice and blunt, so it won't actually cut all the way through. And there we go, and that's very safe now. These bolts have been trimmed off so that they're nice and flush. For the purposes of holding the body, that's actually a really good idea. If these were seatbelt bolts, we'd have to have 2 or 3 threads sticking through the nylock so that it doesn't come undone. The rest of the interior is nice and smooth. We haven't got anything that's going to be sticking and jagging on the rider, such as a side cutter trimmed cable tie, which would be very sharp. These belt guides are intended to make the belt high enough to go over the rider's shoulders so that we don't get any spinal compression in a forward impact. Team managers need to pay attention to this area and make sure that the belt isn't frayed in that area. This nice soft foam is not what we need in the cars anymore. We actually need this nice dense, it's called EVA 75, but the 75 unfortunately is a stock number that has nothing to do with the density of the foam, which is actually 105 kilograms per cubic metre. Nice loud horn, plenty of noise outside the vehicle, which is where we want it. This reflective material goes over where the rider's head is going to be, so that in low light conditions, if the vehicle's lying on its side on the track, oncoming riders who are heading towards this know that that's where a rider is. To keep it consistent across the field, we actually supply this. This rear lighting, it's strip lighting, but it's confined within the dimensions that it's required. This height dimension is important because it allows oncoming riders to gauge the depth perception and the distance away that the vehicle is. If we had lights all over the place, that would get all confused. This is our nose sharpness gauge, and it just ensures that the vehicle is not too pointy at the front. Something that team managers should monitor is the structural integrity of composite fairings. This particular car relies upon the strength of that as part of the roll cage system and the roll bar system. If it's cracked, it won't do its job. So you need to just have a look at it and make sure that it's intact. Because this vehicle is an FB10 bottle, it's got nothing really sticking out of the vehicle that's going to be a protrusion against either running into something or into a person. Nothing to catch on the road during a rollover. Transponders are a small device that is used for the timing of these races, and it records, or it allows the computing system to record the number of laps that are completed. Pro-chip flex transponders are not rechargeable. Some have a USB connection that enables checking the battery level, but if it is left in, it will actually drain the battery.